let's talk a little bit about open spaces. We're seeing a huge demand for open spaces and how to outfit video conferencing equipment in them, and we're going to talk a little bit about the RallyBoard 65. These open spaces can be very challenging because they don't have physical walls, so we're going to show you how the RallyBoard 65 solves for a lot of those issues and remains flexible to be deployed in any space.
Let's see this open space example here, where we have some people around a table, and really how we've added video enablement and collaboration to the space is with RallyBoard 65. This is our all-in-one display, video, mic, and sound system on top of a cart, so that can very easily be oriented in anywhere in this open environment to facilitate that touchdown meeting.
A lot of people are pretty concerned about putting video conferencing in open spaces because they're worried about noise pollution, they're worried about visible distractions. So what's really interesting about the RallyBoard is, number one, the distance that the camera and the microphones can go, which is the microphones can go about 7 meters, and we have this really fantastic 1-inch camera sensor that can see really far into the room. But we're able to actually take the technology that's built into the board and set up something called Digital Cocoon. So Digital Cocoon is a super cool feature that's going to utilize a depth camera that is built into the RallyBoard, and it's actually going to blur everything that's outside of the zone that you set in the room. So I can tell the board the room is so-and-so feet deep, so-and-so feet wide, and it will actually blur all of the video that is outside of that space. And then the other cool thing that we can do is we can actually set up mic zones. So we can do the same thing as the camera, but actually excluding audio that might be coming in from outside of the specific zone that we set. So when you're using these two features together, it allows you to really prevent a lot of those distractions from coming through on your meeting and allowing your far end to really focus in on the people they're on the call with.
And what is really awesome about RallyBoard is you'll see as people here are standing around this kind of counter height seating, you really want people to have this more natural eye level connection with the camera. And so the camera on top of RallyBoard is oriented on top to capture people at a more flattering angle. However, over here, we've got a more traditional sit-down style of seating where people are a little bit lower. And so to avoid that kind of security angle footage, you can orient RallyBoard 65 with the camera below, and everything will stay as is, but instead it'll have this more natural eye level connection.
Another really amazing feature of the RallyBoard isn't just the fact that it can flip and you can change the camera perspective, but it's also the fact that when you're utilizing it with our RallyBoard carts, you actually have the ability to wheel it in between rooms. So you can put this board on Wi-Fi, all you do is you plug it in the room that you need to go to, and then you have video conferencing anywhere and everywhere in any large space. So that's just an example of how you're very easily able to take this board and move it into different large flexible spaces to enable those video conferencing conversations anywhere.